looking at my diary today, and it's exactly 5 months that I was diagnosed with leukemia.
Make a difference to leukemia sufferers here in the West Midlands.
Tony de Grey is from Quinton. He's been diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia and he's been recording his diary.
Smile on people's faces, the tears in their eyes. You see it all. You go to hell and back. It's just absolutely amazing, and they've actually given me my life back.
For your fundraising pack, log on to redalertappeal.com.
The Red Alert Appeal with Cure Leukemia on BBC WM 95.6.
Today is day 12, the 3rd of June. I've just spent probably the last 4 days just sleeping and just resting and not being able to do anything. It has been unbelievably bad. I don't know what it is, it's just I'm absolutely drained and I just feel sick all the time. And today is my 23rd wedding anniversary, and it's also my son Jack, his 18th birthday. So we'll come up to see me today. Still not much company, but it's so good to see my wife today. I didn't think I was going to get to this anniversary, to be honest. And to get here is it's just an absolute milestone, and I know that getting there I can get anywhere. It has been hell, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Let's talk to Tony's wife, Diane. Diane, good morning.
Good morning.
How does it feel like hearing Tony talk like that?
Upsetting. It's devastating news when he found out he'd got leukemia, not just for himself but for the whole family. It did affect us because we hadn't really got time to get around the illness before they started his treatment. And it was a lot of information to take in right at the beginning. I find I'm reading more about the illness now than I did back then.
And the line there that Tony said of us, he didn't think he'd make the wedding anniversary. Did you think he'd make it?
At the beginning, no. Tony went into hospital and he was very ill at the beginning. The shock was he went in with like an infection with his wisdom tooth. And just to be diagnosed about 9 o'clock on the evening with leukemia, it was hard.
How open is he about how hard he's finding it? Does he try and hide it from everybody, or...?
No, I don't think he does. I think he's very open. He's very open with direct family. We see his good days and his bad days, which affects all of us. It does have a knock-on effect. If he's having a bad day, so am I.
Yeah.
But I think going to work and trying to keep every day as normal as possible, it does help.
Looking towards the future, Diane, how do you feel? Is it mixed? Do you feel positive?
Mixed. I think we've got a long road ahead of us still. When we spoke to the doctors at the hospital, I thought this was the end, him having his transplant, and they just reckon it's just the beginning.
Really?
So I do believe we've still got a long road ahead of us.
All right. Diane, I'm sure we'll speak again. Lovely to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank
and that's
you.
Diane, married to Tony de Grey, the man that we've been hearing about and will continue to hear about, being diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia.
The voice of Birmingham and the Black Country.
This is BBC WM
95.6.
8 o'clock on Tuesday morning, February the 21st, the morning's main BBC WM 95.6 news from Jay Vidallingham.
Good morning. One of the world's leading doctors of blood cancer says thousands of lives could be saved if drugs developed and tested here in the West Midlands were offered on the NHS. Groundbreaking treatments to help blood cancer patients already exist, but currently aren't offered by the health service. Well, BBC WM 95.6 is launching our Red Alert appeal for Cure Leukemia today. It's to raise money to pay for clinical trial nurses who can give out life-saving drugs not available on the NHS to people who are dying from leukemia. £25,000 pays for a nurse for a year, and we want to raise money for as many as possible to go into hospitals across the West Midlands. Professor Charlie Craddock from the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham has told BBC WM 95.6 why they're so vital.
Many of these treatments have subsequently gone on and been approved by NICE and been shown to be the standard of care. But without the infrastructure, without the research nurses who connect the patients to these new drugs, large numbers of patients would not have seen them and would not have benefited and, frankly, would not have been here today.
And there'll be more on our Red Alert appeal on Phil Upton at breakfast after this bulletin.
BBC WM 95.6's Catherine Stanchesh and is live for us this morning at the QE Hospital. Hi, Catherine.
Hello there, Phil.
How important are these trials then?
Well, they're very, very important trials. It's very important to say as well that these are drugs that are widely expected to work. So they're not just being treated as guinea pigs. They're drugs that they know are being effective. What we're doing today, BBC WM 95.6, we're launching the Red Alert appeal with Cure Leukemia. And that is to fund more of these nurses. What we want to do is get 10 more nurses across 5 hospitals in the West Midlands. The QE Hospital right here, Birmingham Children's Hospital, Sandwell and West Birmingham Hospital, Heartlands and New Cross Hospital in Wolverhampton. And we want to raise £500,000. It'd be nice to raise even more, but we want to raise £500,000 to get 10 more nurses in place to save more lives. 7,000 people across the West Midlands at the moment are suffering from leukemia. So this is a really big problem and it's something that we want to help with. Chris Griffin from Kidderminster has been diagnosed with leukemia. He was diagnosed 4 years ago and he told his story to BBC WM's Richie Anderson.
I went for a blood test and that was the Monday morning, and when I walked in from work on the Monday night there was a phone call from the doctor to say get down here immediately. Went down the doctors, saw our brilliant doctor, and she just said I've got chronic myeloid leukemia. And I asked her, the first thing you do, and this is, I believe, a very typical reaction, am I going to die? That's the first question you always ask. And she couldn't answer that because it's quite a rare disease. You're not quite sure. They're not specialists in all this type of stuff.
So when you left the doctors and you're driving back with Kelly, what's going through your head?
I sort of had a few minutes, to get my head together. And it's hard because you don't know if you're going to live or die. I mean, that's the weird part about it. So, I got back here, immediately decided to phone friends and family, and then spent 3 days scaring ourselves witless on the internet.
You go into the consultant and you start treatment, so how did that all come about?
Went to see the consultant and must have spent 2 hours with him, a fantastic consultant called Dr. Saws. And he sort of went through the thing, drew diagrams of what had gone wrong in my body in terms of the cancer diagnosis and the DNA and all the bits and pieces that go wrong, and overloading my body with white blood cells. And my count at the time was 192 when it should be around about 7 or 8. And he said, and it's treated by tablets. So this was something new. And the other side of things is that I'm strong enough to deal with it. I mean, there are people out there that haven't got it, thank God, and wouldn't be strong enough to deal with it. So I feel, okay, I'm here to carry this, and I'll do my very best. I've got nothing to be upset or sad about because I'm still here.
£500,000. 10 nurses. We can do that, can't we? These nurses are not just caring. These nurses are curing people with the tests, with the trials they're carrying out, the drugs they're using without which these people would die. You, by funding them, are saving lives right here in the West Midlands.
And the nurses are there for, like you said, more than just administration, but they're for support. And this room to my left is certainly somewhere where there's a lot of comfort, a lot of pain, I'm sure, and a lot of angst for people. And the nurses, as you said, perform more than just a normal basic role.
And also, you were telling me before how important it is that BBC WM has got involved in this campaign and how excited we all are to be involved in it, because there's leading research coming out of the West Midlands, isn't there?
Yeah, I think this is it. The main attraction is that this is in Birmingham, it's at the centre of Birmingham, but it's also a global project here, and I think something that Birmingham should be very proud of, and it is going to make a massive difference. And the main thing for us is that we raise awareness for, obviously, what the great work is happening here now.
Thank you so much. James McLaughlin, who is shortly to be the Chief Executive of Cure Leukemia, who we're launching our very exciting new appeal with today.
The Red Alert Appeal for Cure Leukemia on BBC WM 95.6. There's loads online. You can find out how you can get involved on it at bbc.co.uk/Birmingham. And then later on today, our world record breaking attempt. We're going to be live in Victoria Square, Joanne Malin's programme from midday today, hoping to break the world record for the number of people dressed as a nurse in one place. Now, at the moment, that record is held by the Kuwait Medical Students Association. If you're an off-duty nurse and you want to come already dressed, you're welcome to take part. If you just want to turn up, we can provide the costume.
Bilston,
Darlaston,
Cannock,
Halesowen
and Edgbaston. Have your say across the West Midlands on BBC WM 95.6.
27 minutes to 2, Tuesday afternoon. Joanne Malin with you, live from Victoria Square this afternoon. The moment of truth is here. It's time to try and break a world record. Are we ready, guys? The record again, the most people dressed as nurses in the same place at the same time. We're all dressed up to the nines in our nurses' outfits, uniforms I should say. The men are in scrubs. The adjudicators are ready to break the Guinness World Record. We needed 116 people dressed up in the same place for at least 10 minutes. Damien Fields is our adjudicator here from the Guinness Book of World Records. Damien, over to you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Joe. Well, first of all, can I just say what an absolute honour it is to be here today. This is a fantastic initiative, the BBC West Midlands Red Alert Appeal for Cure Leukemia. So it's fantastic. I think you should all congratulate yourselves before I make the official announcement. Thank you so much. I know it's really cold, okay? I'm cold here, so you in your nurse's outfit, but, you know, you've done really well just in that. The record, the Guinness World Record, was 116 people dressed in nurses' outfit. It gives me... Look at all these faces, sorry. Just look at these faces.
We need a drum roll, don't we? Okay.
I really can't say you haven't got the record or I'll be lynched here in Birmingham today. No, look, it's been fantastic. I'm really proud to say that you guys have got 201 people... Congratulations, that's a new Guinness World Record, everybody.
We are record breakers on BBC WM 95.6, 201 people. And I am being presented now with a proper certificate here on stage by Damien from the Guinness Book of Records.
Yeah, that's yours. You deserve it. We'll hopefully get you in the next Guinness World Records book. Congratulations, everybody. Fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. Look at that, everybody. We have got ourselves a certificate, Guinness World Record certificate. The world record for the most people dressed as nurses was achieved by BBC WM 95.6 Red Alert Appeal with Cure Leukemia in Victoria Square, Birmingham, UK, on the 21st of February 2012. What a great launch event for our Red Alert Appeal here on BBC WM. Let's hear it for the crowd, everybody.
Now, we told you last week that the BBC WM Red Alert Appeal for Cure Leukemia has raised enough money to pay for our first research nurse. The money that you have raised, it's going to be helping people like Tony Dugray from Quinton. He's been diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia and he's recording a diary so we can all kind of hear what he's going through. Last week, he returned home after a stem cell transplant using cells that were harvested from his sister.
Well, it's Thursday, 7th of June. I came out last night, 10:30 I got home. Oh, and it was so good. Walk through the front door, just give my two girls a hug, that was absolutely brilliant. My dog was so excited to see me. It's just so emotional, and just to walk into your own house and to think that, I mean, it always crosses your mind that you don't think you will, or you don't know when you will. You open your front door and you walk in, and the relief, it just drains off you. It's an amazing feeling just to be home. And I've spent all day today absolutely shattered. And I've basically just been lying on the sofa, watching a bit of telly, talking to my girls and chilling out and taking my tablets. They sent me home with a suitcase full of tablets. They control absolutely everything your body does, protects you from everything, so I'm grateful for that, but it's quite a bit to sort out. It's hard to be home when you think to the people that you've actually left behind in there. You say goodbye to the people in the hospital and you know they're staying behind. And you know there's some people in there that are ill, they're not going to make it.
4 days to go. I'm joined by Ma Neal, who was diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia.
It is just very, very overwhelming, very, very scary.
Show your support and give leukemia sufferers and their families hope. And his wife, Eve, joins me on the programme.
You don't quite believe it's actually happening.
It's going to be a pretty emotional day for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be.
What are you going to be thinking about when you're running around Sutton Park?
Think about how much we're raising and what we can do in the future to help out.
One special day, one amazing cause. The BBC WM 95.6 Red Alert Appeal Fun Run for Cure Leukemia. This Sunday in Sutton Park. Register for the run at redalertappeal.com.
Now, the run was set up in memory of Richard Massey from Sutton Coldfield, who died in 2009. You might remember we had his mum Alison on the programme back in March. Someone else who's going to be doing it is Catherine Cartwright from Sutton Coldfield. Catherine knew Richard, and like me, will be walking around the course. Hello, Catherine, how are you?
Hi, I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Just tell us how you knew Richard, Catherine.
Yes, well, he unfortunately relapsed, and he relapsed at the same time that I was all back in hospital, having problems with my liver, and so he was having his bone marrow transplant at the same time that I was having my liver transplant, and he was in one cubicle in HDU and I was in the other, and our parents would be swapping stories, because neither of us could come out to talk to the other one. So we'd be getting updates via each other's parents most of the time, and then I went up to the liver ward briefly to obviously recover from the liver transplant. It's the best place to be, really. And by that time, Richard was in the ICU, but Andrew, his dad, would still come down to let us know how he was doing and put the world to rights a bit every so often, just to keep us up to date. And then I was back in HDU. And
the high dependency unit, yeah.
Yes, sorry. And it was a really awful period, I remember, where, I hate to say it, but kids were just dropping like flies all around us, it seemed. Just so many kids died in such a short period of time. And then one day, my mum and Sandra, one of the family support workers, came in, and I just knew, just by looking at them, I just knew that we had lost Richard, and I just remember I just burst into tears and just cried for such a long time, because it's the surprises that hurt the most, and that's why I do the walk, because it's the only thing that I can do to help try and stop this happening.
Keep on running. Keep on hiding.
Just bumped into a very special gentleman. Without this gentleman, Ed, the event today cannot get started. It's Blind Dave Healy. Good morning to you, Dave.
Hello, mate. How you doing, Joe?
I'm good, thank you. You're looking fit as ever. Thank you so much for supporting our cause. You do so much for charity. Why did you want to help us out with the Red Alert Appeal and Cure Leukemia Day?
It's just fantastic. I mean, I've said for a long time now, there's lots of charities need lots of help. There's people a damn sight worse off than all of us, and it's about pulling together.
Let's cross straight back to Nicky Tapper in Sutton Park.
Hello, Ed. Morning again. Well, look, the race has got underway.
We're just on the first bit. There's a man in some sexy blue shorts and a red fat boy headband. He's already walking, Ed. don't think I've done the first kilometre yet, and I'm in a terrible state.
I'm sorry, I'm not there. I could have lent you my stick.
I think I need a motorised scooter, to be honest.
I'm here with the winner of the adult race, Michael Morley. Well done to you, Michael.
Oh, thanks. It's a great run, thanks. A bit hot though, and a bit hilly as well in places, but overall it's a good course.
Well done. Do you know what time you did it in?
18:23.
Look at that, 18:23 you did that in, Ed. And I've also with the second winner for the adult male, Peter Lyons. Well done, Peter.
Oh, thanks a lot.
What time did you do?
19 minutes.
Oh, right, so you're not far behind each other then.
I'm a big Villa fan, so I'm running for Stan really. And a lot of the fans here today, just say thanks for cheering us on the way round.
And now I'm with the man himself, the horse, Jeff Horsfield. Well done you. How long did you do it in? How long did it take you?
20 minutes-ish, just under 20 minutes, so it's not bad. The competitiveness come out of me. I started off having a little bit of fun, and then as soon as that whistle went, I wanted to try as get that high up as possible, and I come 5th or 6th, so I'm happy with that. And,
Yes.
and having a few too many sherbets last night.
And our very own BBC WM 95.6, Richie Anderson. Well done to you. How long did it take you, Richie?
I didn't see as I come past, but I've got to say, I think this is the first time you'll ever speak to when I'm lost for words because I'm so tired. And there was a moment, honestly, when I was running along the race, I kind of slowed down because I was getting a bit tired. And a girl ran past me who must be no older than 13, her hair in bunches, and she went, "Keep going, don't stop running." And I went, "I am running, just a bit campy."
I'm now with, though, Rick Topham from the West Midlands Fire Service, along with his colleague Adam Joyce. And these guys, not only have they just done the run in probably just under half an hour, but they've done it in full uniform as well. So, Adam, you were the one who's galvanised. How many of your mates, the West Midlands Fire Service, how many of you managed to grab them?
Yeah, well, I've managed to get 15 of us here today. The charity's very dear to my heart. I was a former leukemia sufferer myself.
You are legends, one and all. Everybody who took part and everybody who cheered him along the route as well. Well done.
Time for the latest news. Here's Kevin Pashby.
BBC WM's Red Alert appeal has raised enough to pay for its first leukemia nurse. At the moment, about 7,000 people in the West Midlands have the blood cancer. The region is leading the way in treatment here in the UK. James McLaughlin is Chief Exec of Cure Leukemia.
It is a milestone, and every research nurse we equate to working and looking after 20 patients. So you imagine 20 patients today have heard that news, that we're putting a research nurse in to a hospital, and obviously thanks to so many of the listeners here and obviously continued Cure Leukemia supporters, it's great news.